Hey everyone, and welcome to my May most anticipated releases. We're now in May, so let's talk about some of the new books that are coming out this month that I'm really excited for, starting with the 7th. We're starting with a really exciting take on Beauty and the Beast. It's called Beastly Beauty, and this one is by Jennifer Donnelly, and it's a gender-swapped retelling of Beauty and the Beast, and I'm just going to read out the synopsis for this because this sounds really interesting to me. It says, what makes a girl beastly? Is it having too much ambition, being too proud, taking up too much space? Or is it just wanting something, anything, too badly? That's the problem Arabella faces when she makes her debut in society. Her parents want her to be sweet and compliant so she can marry well, but try as she might, Arabella can't extinguish the fire burning inside her, the source of her deepest wishes, her wildest dreams. When an attempt to suppress her emotions tragically backfires, a mysterious figure punishes Arabella with a curse, dooming her and everyone she cares about, trapping them in the castle. As more years pass, Arabella abandons hope, but the curse is her fault. After all, there's nothing more beastly than a girl who expresses her anger, and the only way to break it is to find a boy who loves her for her true self, a cruel task for a girl who's been told she's impossible to love. When a handsome thief named Beau makes his way into the castle, the captive servants are thrilled, convinced that he is the one to break the curse. But Beau, spooked by the castle's strange and forbidding ladies-in-waiting, and by the malevolent presence that stalks its corridors at night, only wants to escape. He learned long ago that love is only an illusion. If Beau and Arabella have any hope of breaking the curse, they must learn to trust their wounded hearts and realise that the cruelest prisons of all are the ones we build for ourselves. And this sounds so good because I am a sucker for a Beauty and the Beast retelling. Beauty and the Beast is my favourite out of all the Disney princesses and the Disney princess stories. I love Beauty and the Beast so much. There's something about Beauty and the Beast that just gets me. I love it so much. I adore it, and I've wanted for so long to have a book or any type of story where Belle is the more beastly of the characters. I've wanted it for so long, so I cannot wait for this to come out. It sounds so exciting. I'm definitely getting this when it comes out. Next on the 9th is Snow-Blooded by Emma Sterner Radley, and I'm just going to leave the full synopsis here so you can read it, but I'm just going to read the bit that sounded really interesting to me, and that is, the Princess Bride meets Six of Crows in this uproarious fantasy debut set in 18th century Scandinavia, full of assassins, magic potions, romance and rivalry. If there's two things I love, it's Six of Crows and The Princess Bride. I grew up on The Princess Bride. I love it to this day. Wesley is still the perfect man in my mind. I adore him. And then there's Six of Crows. I am obsessed with Six of Crows. I love Six of Crows so much. So to combine these two together sounds incredible. I'm all over it. Cannot wait for this to come out. Next is Road to Ruin. This one is by Hannah Lee, and this one is about a royal messenger on a high-speed chase throughout a dystopian land. And the bit that got me was one of the reviews for this book, because it said the motorcycles operate on magic and vibes, everyone is bisexual, the megafauna is dinosaur coded, and there's Mad Max vibes. Again, here for that entirely. I love dinosaurs and anything to do with dinosaurs. I'm a massive dinosaur nerd, and the idea of dinosaur coded megafauna just really grabbed me. I also love Mad Max Fury Road. I'm definitely really excited about Furiosa also coming out this month. I'm definitely seeing that as well. So I love the Mad Max vibes. I love the idea of magic motorcycles that operate on like magic and vibes. I will admit that this does have a love triangle in here, which I'm a little bit iffy on because I'm not the biggest fan of love triangles, but I mean, dinosaur coded megafauna and Mad Max vibes. I needed to know nothing else for me to be interested in this book. It sounds so interesting. I cannot wait to read this. Then we have my first ever Veronica Roth book on here, and that is When Among Crows. I've never read a Veronica Roth book before, but this one really grabbed my attention. This is a novella, and it says, we step into a city where monsters feast on human emotions, knights split their souls to make their weapons, and witches always take more than they can give. And that already grabbed me, but then it says, pain is Demeter's calling. To slay the monsters he's been raised to kill, he has to split his soul in half to make a sword from his own spine. sign. Every time he draws it, he gets blood on his hands. Pain is Arla's inheritance. When her mother died, a family curse to witness horrors committed by the Holy Order was passed on to her. The curse will claim her life as it did her mother's unless she can find a cure. One fateful night in Chicago, Demeter comes across Arla with a bargain. Her help in finding the legendary witch Baba Yaga in exchange for an enchanted flower that might just cure her. Desperate and aware of what Demeter really is, Arla agrees. But when they have one day before the flower dies, and Arla's hope of breaking the curse along with it, and I'm just like, yes, knights splitting their souls to make their weapons, witches, monsters that feast on human emotions, all of this is so far up my alley I cannot describe it to you. And also, this cover, I'm in love with it. I love this cover so much. I love this idea of this story. I am desperate to read this. This sounds incredible. Then on the 21st we have How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. And this one is supposed to be Groundhog Day meets Guardians of the Galaxy. And while I'm not the biggest Groundhog Day fan, I'm definitely a fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. And it says, Davy has done this all before. She's tried to be the hero and take down the all-powerful Dark Lord. 100 times she's rallied humanity and made the final charge. But the time loop always gets her in the end. Sometimes she's killed quickly. Sometimes it takes a while. But she's always defeated all the same. This time, she's done being the hero and done being stuck in this endless time loop. If the Dark Lord wins, then maybe that's who she needs to be. It's Davy's turn to play on the winning side. And it's like humorous, villainous, point of view characters. Heroes going villainous. I am all over this. I love this trope so much. I do not see it anywhere near enough. There definitely needs to be more books about heroes going villainous and maybe going more morally grey. Things like this. It sounds so good. It sounds really funny. It sounds right up my alley. I am desperate for this one, to say the least. And then finally on the 28th we have Dreadful. This one is by Caitlin Rosakis, and this one is supposed to be perfect for fans of T. Kingfisher and Travis Baldree. I've read 2 Travis Baldrees now, really enjoyed them, and also I've just read my first T. Kingfisher and I really like her work, so that intrigued me enough. But then the synopsis really got me. As it said, it's bad enough waking up in a half-destroyed evil wizard's workshop with no eyebrows, no memories, and no idea how long you've got before the Dreadlord whomever shows up to murder you horribly and then turn your skull into a goblet or something. It's a lot worse when you realise that Dreadlord whomever is you. Which already got me. But then it goes on to say, Gav isn't really sure how he ended up in with a castle full of goblins, or why he has a princess locked in a cell. All he can do is play along with his own evil plan in hopes of getting his memories back before he gets himself killed. But as he realises that nothing from the incredibly tasteless cloak adorned with flames to the aforementioned princess is quite what it seems, Gav must face up to all the things the Dreadlord Gavrax has done, and he'll have to answer the hardest question of all. Who does he want to be? And I'm like, again, this sounded really interesting. And if that wasn't enough to get on with, it also says it's a high fantasy farce featuring killer moat squid, toxic masculinity, and a garlic festival. All at once. Dreadlord Gavrax has had better weeks. And I'm like, again, this sounds so interesting. This sounds very sort of Pratchett vibes in the writing and the humour style of things. It's also about villains, and obviously, like I've said before, I am a sucker for a villain point of view, so this sounds incredible. I am desperate to check this one out. It sounds right up my alley. And that is all of my most anticipated releases. I'm sure I've missed some. If I have, please leave them down below so I can check them out. But for now, please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Comment down below, like I said, with any books that I've missed. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a emoji that reminds you of evil down below to let me know that you were here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics. I'll also leave a link as well down below to my Bookish Etsy store that sells this Villain Lover merch as well if you're interested in checking that out and treating yourself today. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!